Painkiller Nearly, episode 210. We're back.
Yes, and on the cusp of a drinking episode. Now, I'm curious, what are you guys leaning? Now, I see a look of excitement in one pair of eyes and a look of dread in another.
My last 2 times drinking alcohol were both drinking episodes. I swear, it's like the only reason I consume it.
And put that into perspective. What, 2 drinking episodes ago, literal years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
so you're like a...
I bet it was 2016, 2 drinking episodes ago.
It probably was. Yeah, so you drink on average once a year.
Not
for
this year.
A podcast.
You guys are really ramping it up.
Yeah. Pretty soon we're going to have you up to like 1 every 9 months. Then you got to be getting careful.
Yeah.
You don't want to overdo it. So what are you guys thinking about drinking? What's your go-to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been drinking Bloody Marys. I got some Charleston Bloody Mary mix. It's nice and spicy, and I've been mixing that with vodka. But I think if I'm going to be drinking a lot of it, that might be a huge fucking mistake.
It'll be a colorful vomit.
Yeah, right. And it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe like horrible heartburn and like burn on the way up. So I may just drink the vodka straight and just chase it with something.
Yeah, think about how shitty you're going to feel with that much acidy tomato juice sitting in your stomach.
Yeah, and it's not just acidy. It's like there's a lot of pepper and spices like in there. Like when you shake the glass, like you can see how much stuff is in there. I don't think that's a good idea for this much drinking. So I'll probably...
This is from a guy who drank Kahlua and cream one drinking episode. So like I'm not really your mentor on this thing.
You don't taste the vodka at all. It's
that
just
sounds
like
great.
If you like spicy V8, like that's what this is. It's a third vodka, 2/3 mix, and that like I'm do like a rocks glass of that and enjoy one of those while I eat at night or whatever, or play some games or something. And I've been liking
really
those.
love tomato juice though.
I like tomato juice.
Love it.
I like V8. Specifically, I really like it if it's spicy. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna drink straight vodka most likely. Yeah, I think that's the plan right now. We need to come up with some drinking games. So, if you guys are listening to this, maybe put some comments on the YouTube video or something like that. Think of not necessarily a drinking game, because people are going to take that literally. They're going to be like, oh, well, no. Like think of a drinking game specific to our show and kind of the flow that it normally takes. Like if person A does X, Y, and or Z, they drink.
Actually,
or
can
something
I
like
for
that.
A second? I think I need to turn my volume up a touch. I've been watching videos about this. There's one called Truth or Drink. Have you heard of this?
No, is it? I think I can put the pieces together.
Yeah, I bet you've got it. Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called Cut, and they do these drinking games. And what's interesting is they get like exes or engaged couples or something like that to do it. And you know what? I should link you one or two to give you the spirit of it, and maybe we could replicate it.
I don't know if that's going to work for us, though, because it's not like we're very conservative in what we share on this show, right? I feel like we're just going to be telling truths that we would have told anyway all night, and like nobody's going to be drinking, especially you. You're like, I'll admit to whatever. I don't care as long as I don't have to drink this poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, I raped the dog.
Strategy with that game will be lie at any cost.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm attracted to men. Like, for real, sure. Can I pour this out? If I say I'm really into it, can I pour all of it out?
Right now.
Yeah, I would be stone cold sober at the end of that show. I can see where you're coming from. Well, you know what? I will link you a video or two and see if you still don't like the idea.
I think what a lot of them would like is if we get kind of little idiosyncratic things that we all do. Like, oh, every time Taylor uses this word, or like that I use a lot, or every time Kyle says, one of your many catchphrases, or every time faggot. Woody gets a name wrong. Yeah, every time Kyle says faggot, we got to drink. And you better believe by the end of that episode, that's going to be a rapid fire drinking machine. From if we say the faggot rule with Kyle. So little things like that. Be thinking about. I'm going to put it on my Twitter and hopefully get some of your guys' good ideas. I'm not sure if I want to do beer or hard alcohol.
Beer,
not like
option,
a light,
sir.
not like a light beer, like a stronger beer.
No. If you want to chase your liquor with a nice 10% Russian ale or something, yeah, That's what my roommates used to always bring home. They'd have these glass liter bottles of like some honey Russian beer, and it would just be black as night and just strong as fuck, and I could never finish one.
An imperial or whatever they call them. Yeah,
I don't know what they
those
were.
Those are terrible. But okay, if we're set on hard alcohol, then I'll do vodka. I'll pick some up tomorrow.
I feel slightly abandoned. I'm following your Grand Gala advice from last episode because I still have it, but you've left me at Grand Gala solo. It's not the right alcohol anymore.
I mean, I have vodka here. I already have like a nice bottle of Tito's vodka here and so I don't have any Grand Gala. So, and it's also a lot of sugar, and it's very syrupy, and it did make me quite ill last time I drank a lot of it. So I think I'm definitely gonna go with vodka. I'm gonna go order.
See, the move here, Woody, is get vodka, and then get like sparkling water or flavored sparkling water, seltzer water, something like that to mix it with. And that way you're kind of hydrating as you go.
Those are two things I don't like. How can this be a good idea?
Then mix it with a beverage of your choice.
Orange juice?
That's not. Oh no! See, you're gonna have the worst acid reflux in the world if you're drinking that much orange juice over the course of a night. So
I think
I'm already sweating. It's clear that I'm not prepared for this episode, that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go to the subreddit and ask for drinking advice, because there were people that gave me good drinking advice, like just drink and have fun and don't worry so much about whether you're drinking enough. Just enjoy. They had this lighthearted, enjoyable measure, like way of drinking, as opposed to the metric oriented fashion that I use, where I count fluid ounces and sweat and numbness.
You need a shot glass. That is what you need. You need a shot glass. They are pennies of cost. At virtually any, my grocery store has them. Like Ingles has them. There's like a place by the sodas, I think, that has them. You need a shot glass so we can keep that legit. If I were you, I would have a chaser, and I think the best chaser for vodka, like especially, I don't want something really syrupy. Well, I mean, if you were to go to, I would chase it with ginger ale. That's what I'm going to do probably is have vodka and ginger ale, and just shoot the vodka and then chase it with a little bit of ginger ale and drink a shitload of water this time.
Yeah.
I drank a liter of water last time, and that was a liter and a half, and that was not enough. So I'm going to maybe drink like a liter before the show, I guess. I don't want to get sick this time. And
last show afterwards, I felt bad. The show before that, I wished I was dead. That was the one there. It was truly awful. I spent the entire night on the tile floor.
The cold of the tile.
Oh, it was so delightful, the cold tile floor. And then I woke up to the subreddit saying I didn't drink. I was just like, you motherfuckers.
It's funny, like the little things when you're that wasted that like you would never just go into your bathroom and be like, man, what a comfortable cold tile. I'm going to lay here. But then when you're wasted, you're like, oh, it's a little treat. Like,
yes. Yeah. Oh, my God. I was so happy the tile was so cold. And, like, I was vomiting. And then it was like, well, like, there's no way I can make it back to the bed and expect not to be vomiting 45 seconds from now. So I'll just rest here for a while until we're certain this is past, which turned out to be the next morning around 5 a.m.
So I think vodka's the move for all of us. If you're going to, or
he's not going to like vodka.
I'm going to do Grand Gala. Vodka reminds me of my high school drinking, and that wasn't good. It was awful stuff. I just choked down.
The more sugary the beverage is,
the more
the next day you're going to wish you hadn't have it, like you didn't have it.
Yeah,
Kyle,
I know that.
I don't know. I hear that. All I really know for sure is that cheap tequila is literally has poison in it. It's if it doesn't say 100% agave, then it's like half of it is like some sort of cheap grain alcohol with impurities in it, and that's why tequila. Everybody's like, oh, not tequila, as if like tequila has something in it that makes you crazy. No, there's nothing about tequila. There's something about cheap tequila, like Jose Cuervo, that really fucks you over. But I'm probably just, I really like Tito's vodka. I think it's fucking tasty. I might get some olives or something.
Is that a Mexican vodka?
No, it's Texan.
It's made in Austin.
I've never had a vodka that I was like, oh, that's tasty. I've just had
stuck in 2011, but I'm like, he'll drink a Russian vodka, obviously. I mean,
Well, Stoli's pretty good.
Stolichnaya. No, I really do like the Tito's vodka. I had it like 5-6 years ago for the first time, and
And it's cheap for what it is.
it's so cheap for what it is, and it's literally my favorite. I definitely prefer it over like the better vodkas, the more expensive vodkas, I should say. It's my favorite vodka, so I'll probably drink that.
do we know the
And,
guest?
No. But yeah, some sort of a drinking game would be fun. But of course, like a timer that's going off like maybe every 20 minutes for a shot. Because, every 20 minutes a shot for 4 hours is only 16 shots.
I obviously can't do that.
I got things to do on Friday.
No, yeah, you do actually. I mean, I could
when
be
woke up from the last
hospitalized at
drinking
that.
episode, when I woke up from the last one, I
And it's
was so
12 shots,
drunk
I
I
think.
forgot to put my fucking retainer in, and woke up the next morning and was just like, oh, I gotta go to work. And I was like, oh, this fucking sucks. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, fucking Woody and Kyle probably asleep right now, sons of bitches. Like, as I'm standing up getting ready, and I go in the bathroom brushing my teeth. Something feels a little different on my toothbrush, and I like spit and do the kind of thing. It's like, oh, what do you know? Cracked off part of your front tooth, did you, you drunk asshole? And so that's the price I paid for the last drinking episode.
You may have paid the highest price.
I may have. Yeah.
I always thought I did. Oh, what?
It was beyond discomfort. So yeah, drinking episode should be fun. I hope that we've got a guest who's savvy and is down to get good and drunk. That would be ideal.
I
but
think
we'll
the
see
ideal
how
guest would not be savvy, but still down to get drunk, much like me every episode. I think that's what I want. Another drinking rookie over their heads, just drowning on the show.
That's who you want. Someone
Tucker was too fucking hardcore for us. I thought he didn't seem drunk, and the next day 8 a.m. Tucker was like, let's start another wonderful day.
Well, see, but like someone on the subreddit was keeping track of the drinks in like a loose way. By like it gets to by the time it's in like later in the show, you're not actually pouring out shots. You're just kind of eyeballing it, which could be a little less, a little more.
I was drinking from the bottle.
I saw on there because like at the time, Kyle's right. I was like, man, Tucker doesn't seem that drunk, and I probably weigh 50 pounds more than him, and I feel pretty tipsy right now. And I looked at that counter and I was like, this can't be right. He beat me. He drank more than me with 50 pounds less.
Yeah.
And the next morning, like he tweeted something I saw like in the middle of the day, and like in case you missed it, it was like another great morning or like some more shit. And it was like, Jesus,
he's the man.
We need to not bring him on drinking episodes anymore. He makes us look bad.
Who would be good? I don't know, but I'm guessing Quibblecop can't drink a lot. He's small.
He's super skinny. Yeah, and he runs a lot, so I doubt he does much drinking regularly.
Interesting.
Yeah, he'd be a good one.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun as always. And yeah, Taylor and I, or I guess all of us, should definitely try to think of some ways to incorporate it into the show. I think drinking games are, a drinking game that lasts the whole show doesn't make any sense. But some way of incorporating the drinks into the show that could go the full show would be nice.
What might be kind of fun is if a fan of the show put together a like a bingo that like a drinking episode bingo, if that makes any sense. Woody's face starts sweating, Taylor whatever says shenanigans. I'm not sure.
Damn it, you're right. I would do that. Yeah.
So just a thought.
Yeah. So that'll definitely be fun.
So quite a few things in the news today.
Obviously, everyone's talking about my paramotor video upload.
I mean, that's what you took the words out of my mouth.
Next topic.
Did you see Louis C.K. is performing again? Finally.
Yeah. I wish that there were video of it, even if it were cell phone video, because I want to know if he. I bet he made fun of himself like right off the start. I bet he mentioned the whole masturbation thing and made it funny, and I'd like to see it. I wish if he came out with a special right now, I'd be eagerly clicking the button to watch that thing.
You guys are probably too young for this, but way back in the day, in like the 80s or 90s, Pee Wee Herman was huge. He was giant, and he had Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, and everyone was crazy about it. Like the tequila dance he did was like a cultural icon, and like everyone's doing it like at the arcade on the boardwalk. He was just omnipresent in American culture. And then, like between movies, he gets caught masturbating in an adult theater.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. So suddenly, the children's star of America or the world becomes persona non grata, and his career ends, and it's over, and what have you. So, like, I don't know, 2 years go by, and everyone's making jokes about it, and it's this like it's lame and it's nonstop, and it's endless bullying. So he goes on this award show, and the first thing that I've heard him say in 2 years is like, "So, heard any good jokes lately?" Owned it. And it was so great. Everyone was like cheering for him. We went nuts because like he knew what was going on, and he knew everyone was making Pee Wee jokes. And I would love to see Louis C.K. treat it the same way. Like, yeah, like anyone here want to consent or whatever he's gonna say. Just own
Look
it.
at the front row. You all filled out your consent forms, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be like one of those Gallagher shows.
Yeah, he could hand out those like splash guards or raincoats or something to the front row in case things get spilly.
Yeah, see, so apparently when he went out on stage, everybody was like uproarious, like, yeah, Louis. But as can be predicted on social media, it was the exact opposite reaction, where it was like, I can't believe they brought him back. He's basically a rapist, and it's like, still, like, and people be like, it's crazy that now that Louis C.K.'s back, only a matter of time till Weinstein, Spacey are back too. It's like, God, you fucking liars, not at all the same. Like,
yeah, he's definitely going to come back.
He did not do anything nearly as egregious, and people always act like he was really powerful, like he could make or break careers, he was snapping fingers making decisions. Really, this happened in the early 2000s. He didn't have enough influence to get his own career rolling, and he was going to pull triggers and pull strings to ruin the careers of these people. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to make a comeback. He's definitely going to have a big special that'll come out. I wonder who will take his special though. Like will Netflix run his special? Will it be on like Hulu, or will it be on demand somewhere? Will it be an HBO special? Like who's gonna step out and be like, yeah, we're in the Louis C.K. business?
A few years ago, I think he released one independently on his own, where he was like, hey, it's here for a download, and all I ask is like, please don't pirate it. It's totally within your power if you wanted to, but please pay me $5 when you download it.
I saw that.
And I remember
Alda
it
was
being
in it.
huge. He made more than he would have because he wasn't having to pay money to the production company, like he did it all himself.
I remember it differently. I remember him explaining that because people were like, that thing didn't make any money and it wasn't good, it wasn't funny, stuff like that. And he's like, all right, it didn't make a lot of money yet, but you guys have no idea how valuable owning this property is. Like, I own these whole shows, and it's not Seinfeld, but Seinfeld sold for like $1 billion 15 years later. He will continue to sell that and resell it and make money on it eventually, he believes. That's how I remember it going down.
Okay, you might be right. I
but
do remember it was a surprise to people where they're like, no, you fool. It's the internet. No one's going to pay. And then more people than expected did pay.
Did you buy it?
I didn't watch that one until it came out for free on YouTube. So nope.
I saw it early. I think I bought it. I think it was really cheap. Like, I think you even maybe got to choose how much you paid. I might have paid $5 for all of it or something.
If that was his 2012 special, I think I did buy it.
Okay.
But
it wasn't a special. The one I'm talking about, it was this thing where he played maybe a bartender that he inherited.
That's his TV show.
Are we not talking about the same thing?
No, we're talking about a special.
So he did that thing with a special where he released it on his own and had him pay. I'm not familiar with his show really. I watched a few episodes of either Lucky Louie or Louie.
Yeah, you're talking about the special with Steve Buscemi and all those guys in the bar.
Alda. Yeah, I take it back. Now I remember it like Taylor does.
And like
the special, he did crush it on that, and it changed his whole life financially. And it, like Taylor's 100% right. The TV show that we're talking about now, that was the one where he feels like it'll pay off eventually.
Yeah,
we were on a different page, but
yeah,
that was dark as shit. That was super dark, and there was very little funny in that whole thing. It
was just sad.
He tells you it's different, that it's not funny. And I was like, oh, he probably means maybe he's being modest. No, he wasn't going for funny. And every step of it was just like more hopeless problems without solutions.
It was
Yeah,
way
that's-
too up his own ass. Like all of his
Oh,
shows are shit. Louie, Lucky Louie, Edna and Irma, or whatever the fuck that one is with Steve Buscemi. Like they're terrible. They're almost unwatchably unfunny because
don't
it's
like
a
'em.
dude doing like artistic style stuff, and it's like, Louis, you tell dick jokes. The person you are is the guy who was shooting the shit on Opie and Anthony for years, the hilarious dude, and now you decided that's not enough. I'm going to be this, art house film director who just isn't very good at it. Like, I haven't heard any Louis C.K. fans rave about his shows ever. It's always the stand-up they like.
I have a hard time with Louis to begin with. I think like I've seen all of his specials and like I don't know. I think like 20% of the jokes make me laugh or something like that. I don't know. I like his interviews. I like him off the cuff. I think he's very funny that way. I like when he's on the Stern Show talking about having sex with a dog, like when he's a kid. Like I'm laughing my ass off. But when he's doing his actual stand up, like half the time I'm just like, oh, let's see, an hour divided by one funny joke every 10 minutes.
Louis C.K. to me follows the same trajectory that so many great comics do. Like the first special, oh my God, this guy rules comedy. He's the best ever. Second special, that was good. I enjoyed it. I like that dude. Third, fourth, fifth special, just it's not like it used to be. Bill Burr, I could say the same thing. And I like these guys. I root for them. I want them to have great specials. But, they just don't seem to keep getting better. I like John
who I
Mulvaney.
really like? Oh, John Mulaney's good. His most recent special wasn't as good, which fits right into your fucking paradigm there. And my favorite guy right now is Norm Macdonald.
Yeah,
because he is so fucking funny. I was listening to as I was playing some video games last night. I was listening on to an old Opie and Anthony with him, where enragingly Jimmy pushes him out of the studio so fucking boring ass Brock Lesnar can come in, and he still gets shit from the O&A community to this day of like, why'd you have to push Norm out? Because Norm is hilarious. And Norm was saying like making fun of the fact that like he'd just gotten back on TV. This was like a decade ago, and he's like, yeah, on Netflix they just find some average looking female and throw them up there, give them a special. And they're like, yeah, they're not quite as funny. And he goes, oh, but that's Sarah Silverman, she's hilarious. Who's funnier than her? And they're like, yeah, she is really funny. He goes, well, except dudes.
That is a great joke and a pretty good impression.
It's hilarious.
He was on SNL. He had the Weekend Update. He had the Weekend Update desk. That was his. And he was going after OJ every single week. Every single week, he had at least one OJ joke, maybe two or three. And the guy, one of the NBC executives, very good friends with OJ Simpson. They golf together. He believes OJ's innocent. They are very good friends. And he goes to what's his name that runs SNL, and he's like, hey, that needs to stop.
Lorne Michaels, maybe?
Lorne Michaels. And he's like, that needs to stop. It doesn't stop. They fire him from the show.
That's why?
So, yeah. So like a year later, he comes back to host, right? And he's got his monologue is hilarious. It wasn't approved. Their monologues are always like pre-approved. He's like, a year ago, I was so not funny, they fired me. Now I'm so funny, I'm hosting. So either I got a lot more funny or this show fucking sucks.
He has some of the funniest quotes that like take you a second because they're insulting. He's like, well, I think most clever people think that poor people are stupid. It's like just little things. Right? And he puts people in uncomfortable situations. Watch his stand up and follow his Twitter. He is one of the him and Colin Quinn have two of the funniest Twitter accounts out there. It's such a shame neither of them have more reach than they do.
I feel like I like Norm Macdonald's when you guys imitate his highlights than I actually like Norm Macdonald's. Norm Macdonald's to me is like the porn equivalent of one of those boob reveals on Reddit where for some reason a woman inexplicably takes like 25 seconds to show her boobs. It takes fucking forever and the payoff is so. That's a Norm Macdonald's joke. Like he
no S.
He is proud Norm Macdonald? Okay. That's a Norm Macdonald joke. He is proud of the fact that it takes him, like, I don't know, 4 minutes to get to the punchline. And then when you're done, it was,
Let's watch this clip.
Mhm.
This
Okay.
is one of my favorite jokes from SNL.
One moment, please.
He
Oh, Matt.
makes them laugh at this joke, even though they don't want to. That's the best part.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready,
Yeah, I'm
set,
ready.
play.
Percentage in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman. For those of you hissing at that joke, it should be noted that that joke was written by a woman. So now you don't know what the hell to do. No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women.
Wildly overrated. That was so funny.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
got
I
bad
think his
taste.
style of humor is hysterical. Like he intentionally makes people uncomfortable, but in an odd way where it's not like cringe uncomfortable. It's like I never watch him and feel that feeling of discomfort in my stomach where I'm viscerally embarrassed for someone else, you know? Like I watch him and I get a kick out of how he is putting that feeling into the people who are there physically with him. Because I can't imagine the kind of energy he puts off. He's just very funny, dude. It seems like the funniest comedians either sell out, like what he was saying, and become kind of shitty and milk toast, or they just never get that big.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Norm. I like it. I like the movies he's been in. I like his delivery. I like those stories he tells that are very long, and the
moth.
you know the person the moth one. I like the one about Johnny. The kids are telling the teacher a story that has like a moral to it, and you know each one kid's like tells the story about like don't put all your eggs in one basket, and one of them's like it tells a story that's about don't count your chickens before they hatch, and then he tells a story about his uncle Johnny who was in Vietnam and killed all the villagers and everything, and it's just Jesus Christ. By the time you get to the end of that thing, it goes on for a while.
Yeah.
But it's fucking worth it. It's so bizarre. He's definitely unique. There's nobody else who does exactly what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let's watch this quick little body cam video here. I saw this earlier today. It's on the Police Activity channel. I think I got it time stamped, so you might want to like, click it and then pause it at like 2:02. If anyone wants to watch this at home, body cam captures Utah cop shooting burglary suspect.
I'm ready.
This lady had been breaking into cars, and she's holding a screwdriver, and she has been told to drop this screwdriver for 2 minutes now.
All right, let's watch.
Ready, set, play.
Take her out like last time. Do you want me to take her out like last time? What?
Pretty good angle for a body camera. That's rare.
Get on the ground!
Did it work? Did it work? Did it work, nigga? Did it work?
She's
Didn't work,
wearing
did
too many
it?
clothes, I guess.
He's mocking him. They're
Okay,
both
that's all I
trying.
got for taser.
Drop the screwdriver.
Is that a gun?
Yep.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground, drop the nut! Drop it! Drop it!
Told you.
Lay back!
What did you
Get
think was
back!
going to happen?
Get back!
I didn't know we were
Got
going
it
to go from there to there.
Yeah.
Theater
They're not
6W2,
used.
shots
Yeah.
fired, one down, we need EMS.
I don't like this
Okay,
shooting.
you got another.
Shot her in the leg. She's got
Get on your
a screwdriver in her
stomach.
hand. She wouldn't
Get
drop
on
it.
your
She's got more in her pocket. Got
Get
shot
on
in the
your
leg.
stomach. Get
Suck
your
it.
other hand out.
Yeah, I don't mind. She wasn't complying. She was told many times. She tried to tase, mocked them, made it clear she wasn't going to stop being a threat.
Yeah, the Iron County
A threat?
attorney
That's-
determined that the officer who shot and wounded the woman suspected in the car burglary in Parowan in June was not legally justified, but they say the officer will not face criminal charges.
That's not one of the choices. Not legally justified, but we're cool with it.
Yeah, I do agree with that. That is weird, where they're like, wasn't above board, but...
We suspended it for 3 days.
We
Went on
pay.
vacation.
Yeah. We
Got a long weekend out of it.
At his request, we wrapped it around the 4th of July just so we
Exactly.
could have 10 days in a row offers.
No, fuck her. He'd been there for a while. She wouldn't put the screwdriver down. She won't obey instructions. She gets shot in the leg.
Yeah, just for future reference, this kind of video is not good content for PKN because so many people listen to it audio only.
Oh.
But
They should fork over the fucking money then.
Or get the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean that like. I'm kind of split on that. Like, what else was he supposed to do?
I don't know, but it seems like he could have tried talking to her, reasoning with her. I feel like you have to be pretty fucking.
I think that's what Kyle's saying.
Toxically masculine.
We started that late because that's all that it was. Is put it down, put it down.
It's 2 minutes of that.
I'm gonna tase you. Put it down. I'm gonna tase you, and it's just like none of that.
It's just I know we shot her in the leg, but let's pretend he was using lethal force there. She hadn't quite earned death yet, in my opinion. I think that maybe he jumped the gun a little bit on that.
She definitely didn't deserve death for that. Well, but when it's that
she
close,
won't be jumping anything anymore.
Yeah, he shot her right in her like paintball pants, whatever the fuck she was wearing.
Yeah, got her good. She bleeds a little afterwards. He puts a tourniquet on her. It's no big deal. She's fine.
Oh, he's nice after all. It's like I keep saying. She wasn't lunging. She wasn't. A screwdriver is not the kind of weapon that instantly kills. I didn't think the cops had the kind of threat that justifies shooting. And I feel like I line up with the police 80% of the time. That's where I land. I think I'm just a little conformist in that way. Like whatever they did was probably right. But this woman was kind of just standing there.
Maybe.
Even while tasing her, she didn't do anything aggressive.
Yeah, I'm glad he shot her. I hope she's got a limp now.
Kyle doesn't even think it's merely appropriate. He's actively happy that the woman was shot.
Yeah. She needed it. She absolutely needed it. I hate those people who are just like, first of all, obey the fucking instructions. But then when they're just like, I'm not going to obey your instructions. I'm going to stand here with a screwdriver. Come on, take it from me. Come on, take it from me, big man. Like when they start talking shit to the cops and the cops are standing there with their fucking Batman utility belt of ass kicking, you're retarded. You're retarded. Like you need to be removed from the general populace anyway. I'd have been okay if he.
I would have liked it if they had some backup pepper spray. If they had pepper sprayed her,
nice.
I'd have been on their team 100%. Go ahead, pepper spray that bitch.
Baton time. I like when they beat him with a baton. I always enjoy that. I remember that. I'll never forget the cop on the TV show Cops who brought out the nunchucks.
I didn't know that.
He had fucking nunchucks, and he fucking whacking the person in the back of the legs while they're running with nunchucks.
Nunchucks.
You know who would get their ass beat if I had nunchucks?
You.
Me. Yes, it's proven by every time I played with them.
Dude, there is no weapon that is more dangerous to fuck around with than nunchucks.
I know.
We watched the Ninja Turtles, and dude was watch Bruce Lee. He's just you get him out, and you're just ow.
Yeah,
God, they're so hard.
Yeah,
why is the wood so hard?
What kind of wood is this hard? It's like steel, and like. I catch things all the time, and I don't hit things with my fingertips, yet suddenly when I'm trying this shit, I'm nothing but fingertips and elbows and skull.
If I'd rather have like a really long stick I could find in the woods as an alternative to a real weapon, like a nunchuck, I think it's indicative of the fact that weapon sucks. It's a shit tier weapon that probably some like smarmy Japanese dude invented, thousands of years ago because he wanted to look cool.
What does swarmy actually mean?
Smarmy.
Okay,
like,
what is that
like
actually?
being smug, being like, oh, everybody else was like, oh, these are halibut, like really cool practical stuff, and he's like, that's not good enough for me. I'm going to use these sticks that have chains between it, and they're like, oh, it's never good enough for Hitokyo. No.
Okay.
Like that's the kind of like he had to be Mr. Special in his Japanese warrior school. Is my historically based assumption.
Somehow trying to prove that nunchucks are better than katanas.
Yeah, it's like, picture him as the kind of guy who devoted his whole life to, if you devoted your whole life to training with nunchucks, you'd be like that guy who devoted his whole life to like studying energy, where then he fights the jujitsu guy, and then it's either you double down and ignore the cognitive dissonance of like, oh my God, my whole life has been a lie. I'm not actually a magic man, or you actually have to come to terms with it and be like, wow, my whole life has been wasted. And so most people are going to deny it in that circumstance, I would think. Anyway, nunchucks.
I've been thinking about this Conor McGregor fight. I'm going to bet on Conor. I think Conor's got this. I've lost all. I'm definitely 100% on Team Conor.
Okay.
I think he's going to win.
Explain.
I just don't. I think Khabib's too slow. I think that
Too
he's
hittable. People say that.
I think his chin. I rewatched the Al Iaquinta fight last night, and Conor's going to destroy. If
let me just make
he
a
fights
counter
like that,
argument.
he's dead.
So, in that fight, Khabib was sort of trying to make a point that he had a stand-up game. Everyone agrees Al Iaquinta has a good stand-up game. It's the best part of his game. And Khabib actually beat him at stand-up, too. He had his wrestling in his back pocket that he didn't use the whole time. He could have become a panic wrestler and won that fight. But he won it on his feet against a good stand-up guy.
Yeah, I don't think he is a good stand-up guy. I think he's more of a wrestler, and
okay.
and he's also like barely in the top 10. I don't even know if he is in the top. He's definitely in the top 10 now, but he wasn't at the time. He was like 11th or something. Dude sells fucking houses for a living. Conor McGregor's has the best stand-up in fucking MMA. I think he's going to knock Khabib the fuck out. And if they get to the ground, like Conor's dangerous from the bottom. Conor's going to be putting elbows on the top of that dude's head, splitting him open. I don't think Khabib is going to take him down more than once or twice, and I don't think he's going to be able to capitalize if he does the way he did against, say, Michael Johnson or somebody like that. And Conor hits a hell of a lot harder than Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson stunned the shit out of Khabib, and if he hadn't gotten that takedown right after, he'd have probably lost that round. Conor's going to win that fight. I'm going to bet on Conor. I hope the betting odds are good so that I make some money on it. But I'm definitely going to put a couple hundred on Conor to win that thing. I don't want to do a bunch of MMA talk, but I've come to that conclusion, and I feel very confident about it now after thinking about it a lot.
I'll take that bet straight up against you, and if the fight doesn't happen, no bet.
Of course, no bet if the fight doesn't happen. I really hope it does.
I think that's the most likely outcome because
there's a lot of there's a lot of fights scheduled that. Every week I hear about another great fight that's scheduled for this year, but whether it's Amanda Nunes and Cyborg, that's firmed up for December 29th or something like that, or it's Poirier and Nate. There's a lot of big fights that are supposed to happen. It's going to be a good rest of the year in mixed martial arts. I
wish the Conor card was better. Normally Conor fights
Tony Ferguson's like right under it, and then on the bottom of the card,
who again?
Tony's fighting fuck. I can't think of it. But I don't care. I'm there to see Tony.
Normally when Conor fights, the co-main is also a championship fight. And the other three are all like Tony Ferguson quality fights. They load up those cards.
OSP might be on that card. I like him. And then the female fight, I think, is a good one. It was one I cared about. I don't know if it's Shevchenko. Shevchenko's definitely probably my favorite female fighter. I think that she should have won the decision against Nunes, and I'm looking forward to her climbing back up the rankings so that she can get a rematch at that. I really like her. She hits so hard. It's fun to watch her train.
We're talking about Nunes right now?
I'm talking about Shevchenko.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've seen her train.
The bullet. She looks like a man.
Do you actually think most of these big fights are going to happen? It seems like they pump up. Like it seems like at least a third, and this is coming from someone who doesn't follow UFC very much, but it seems like at least a third of these drop.
Yeah, I would say that's maybe more. Maybe 75% of them happen, and 25% don't. People are going to get injured. People are going to miss weight, or people are just going to not fight. Like Nate may just be like, fuck it, and like not show up. Nate's a piece of shit sometimes, and he's already threatened not to do his thing.
I thought he was one of the ones that like really wanted popularity back. Like he hasn't been as big.
He's been waiting on Conor. He wants to fight Conor again because he's fought him twice, and when he fights Conor, he makes several $1 million. And
why would he Why would he back out then, or be likely to? Like if he's got that goal on the horizon of like, all right, I got to make it back to Conor again. Get my
his press conference, about his that it was for his next upcoming fight. They rolled the Conor versus Khabib like promo tape, and he stormed off the stage and then talked a bunch of shit to TMZ once he was outside the arena. He's real butthurt that he's not fighting Conor, and it seemingly he's been waiting on that for a while. Although, like I said a couple weeks ago, it seems like there was actually a lawsuit between him and his management team over him firing them just before he got the everything firmed up on the last Conor fight. But whatever. The Connor fight is definitely I think it's gonna be the biggest pay-per-view of all time for mixed martial arts, and I hope Connor wins, of course, but I think he's gonna win too. So definitely excited, really excited. I wish it were closer to me so I could see it. I'm not going to fucking Vegas.
I would love some
You
more
guys
East
even
Coast
said that it
stuff.
wasn't that great, right?
It's not that great,
true.
and that's why I wouldn't travel for it. If there were one in Atlanta here, I'd go for that. But there isn't. I was looking at the schedule and like the upcoming fights, it's like Toronto, Denver, Russia. There's one in Russia, and Vegas. And you know, I'm not going to any of those places. Certainly not going to Russia.
See, but even then, you guys and other people I know who have gone to these kinds of events, like will say, "Oh, it was a neat energy," but honestly, I can see the fight better and understand more what's going on if I just stay home.
The thing about football and hockey, I'm sorry to cut you off, is you're kind of watching the position of the players on the ice a lot. You know, with fighting, you're kind of watching like the position of their hands, you know, how high their chin is, and you can't see it. And also, it's through a fence. You know, you're not super
that part
elevated that
seems
you
shitty
can
to
see
me.
in. You're actually looking through a fence, and it's thick. It has it's a cage. You've seen it, but it's wrapped in rubber, which makes every wire thicker.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I didn't know that. It was so much more hardcore when I thought that it was just regular wire.
Yeah, like galvanized, scratching them up and stuff.
If they brought one to it, I wish they bring like a fight to Atlanta so that I could get like the very, very front row seats down on the ground, like right next to the cage, and they'd still be reasonable, like I don't know, $200 or $300 or something like that. I bet those seats for the Connor fight are what, $5-10 grand a pop or something like that, something nutty. And I'm not gonna pay something retarded, but if it was like, you know, $200 or $300 and you could get the best of the best seats for like a Friday night, like one of the FS1 fights or whatever, I'd definitely do that. But no, nothing scheduled for Atlanta
And if it
anytime
was
soon.
close, you know, like going to Boston's a pretty special event for me. Like, right. But if it was in Raleigh, I'd absolutely be there. You know, or even like, I don't know, somewhat closer, within 3 hours. Charlotte, but they don't do it much here.
Boston might as well have been Mars by the time we got there.
You know what? For me, it went by like that.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Oh.
Why, Kyle? What happened?
We
Did
don't
you
retell
drive the
stories on this
whole way?
podcast. No retelling stories. That would be inappropriate here.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, I just drove 40 hours by myself.
Had you
How
just
many
gone on that
times,
long
Kyle,
drive?
did you look over with just like...
I'm
80, 90, something like
I'm
that.
sure Kyle was
conservatively.
working just as like for me. That was at a time when I still did daily uploads, so I was up for like almost 24 hours straight prior to that trip, making like 6 days worth of videos and getting them all uploaded and stuff like that. Like I hadn't slept for a while before that drive, but
But then you got a ton of sleep on the way up there, and then you slept late into the day that night, and then on the way back, I drove 22 hours.
this is an effective counterpoint. I do see your side of it here.
You ever go for a 22-hour drive?
It wasn't 22 hours though. It might have been 12.
It was insane. Yeah,
It was really long. There was a.
It was something. How long was it? I
There was
don't
a
know. We
GPS
started driving.
problem.
We started driving in the morning, and it was the next morning by the time I stopped.
I believe that. Yeah, it was still night when you dropped me off in Raleigh or Apex
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, and the sun was long up by the time I was just like, can't stay on the road anymore. Can't make it.
My truck makes that kind of drive much nicer. Like it's really something to have it sort of help you out the whole way. And massaging seats keep you a little more alert. Like that works. So that I'm happy with it.
I had to see a chiropractor after that one.
I believe you. I saw a chiropractor for the first time ever last week.
What'd you think?
I didn't actually see a chiropractor, which it validates the start of the story.
Liar.
Yeah. So I went to Aviator PPG, which is a paramotor school. Eric Farewell runs it. And I go down there sometimes to learn extra skills. And when they had an ex-student like sort of hanging out at the hangar, and he was a chiropractor, and he just started adjusting people. So I don't know. I just sat down where all the other people were sitting down with like a shit-eating grin on my face, like maybe he'll do it. And he did. He did my neck, which I've never done before. Like he just sort of touched it. He's like, "This is the spot," and it was. And I swear, I'm like analyzing myself. Like, are you just easily influenced? You know, was he able to tell you that's where the tight spot? No, he was able to feel it. I swear that's true. And then he just kind of like bent my neck and pulled it up, and it made like 4 cracks as he like, and then he had me do the other side. And afterwards, I felt like I could turn my head further. And and again, I'm like, am I just susceptible to like a power of persuasion, or is there actually a difference? My head felt lighter. It was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the chiropractor. I go about once a month, and it's excellent. I love it. The guy I go to, you know, there's different levels of chiropractors. I feel like mine's good because he has an X-ray machine, and because he can like show me improvements and stuff like that. That to me is it's a bit of proof in the pudding, and he does a really fucking good job. I feel like he's never hurt me or anything, and you know, he'll be like, where does it hurt? Is there anything you're concerned with? And like by the time I come out of there, I'm walking straighter, like my posture's better, and like you know, my neck doesn't hurt. My neck will get stiff sometimes from whatever, and fucking I really like the cracking. I'm addicted to that. I enjoy it a lot.
Hearing it.
Yeah, and feeling it. You know, I crack my knuckles all the time, and I watch those videos on YouTube of people getting cracked, getting adjusted, and I can watch a 20-minute video of like people getting like cracked apart.
Especially if they're hot chicks. Right?
That doesn't appeal to me.
Oh,
like
really?
there's so many guys
No.
are such fucking losers, man. Like you should look at these chiropractic videos, and like the ones that blow up and literally have like 1 million, 2 million views. The thumbnail is like yoga pant butt flat on a table, and the guy's like putting like a hand on her ass and like pulling her shoulder to the left or something. And I'm like, no, I don't care if it's a big fat sweaty guy. I want to hear some popping and cracking.
You're here for the pop.
I'm here for two things.
You probably want a big fat guy, so it resonates.
Yeah.
I like the hot girls. I guess I'm in the loser category. The Kyle, guilty. The other thing I like, there's one guy. He might be Australian because he has an accent, but he seems to treat people who are injured or like they're having a problem. They can't stand up correctly, and he does them, and then all of a sudden they're like 20% better right there. And, you know, 2 treatments later, they're cured. I don't know if they would have been cured anyway. I'm a very big chiropractic skeptic, right? I put them on the same level as like a masseuse. Do they help people heal? Yeah, absolutely. Therapeutic massage is a real thing. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. But they're not surgeons or anything. Joe Rogan has a story. He had an inflamed thing in his spine. I forget the term for it. But he went to a chiropractor for ages. And, you know, he just wasn't getting better. You know, he felt better maybe right off the table, but over time it wasn't better. And then he went to an actual doctor, and they're like, look, right here. Do you see this thing? See this? That's a slip joint. That's inflamed. We got to pop it or something. And they popped it or fused it or whatever it is they did. And he was just better. He's like, for 10 years I went to this chiropractor. And they kept telling me there was nothing wrong with me that didn't need a little adjustment or a little massage. And then he goes to a regular doctor, and they fix it right away. So
yeah.
Anyway, chiropractors to me are like masseuses. They do great things. They're just, you know, you got to double check their work.
Yeah, it's definitely not quite medicine. You know, it's definitely not quite medicine yet. I watch a guy sometimes on YouTube who not only adjusts people, he adjusts animals. They will bring.
Do they
That
yelp?
must be good because like you can't know if it worked or not.
He adjusts cats, dogs. I saw him adjust a pony, and he's popping these animals, and they're like, "Grrr," and the animals just, you know, seemingly.
That's really funny because I just started a business recently where I read cats' futures.
A paw reader. Okay.
Meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Oh, speak to them in cat.
Oh, yes. I can't have the owner knowing I'm making things up for $100 an hour. See, that's kind of the same. Oh, man, what a gig. being a chiropractor for animals, just have like some bubble wrap that you stand near. Be like, yeah, as you're doing it, with the other person in the waiting room. Fantastic business idea. Put this next to tit milk.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking great to watch an old man adjust a pony.
You brought up
Better
tit
than
milk.
watching the pony adjust the old man. Hey.
Am I alone in that this boob reveal trend is stupid?
What do you mean?
All right, so I'm on Reddit too much, and I just like Kyle and I have mentioned, if it says not safe for work, it's a must click, right? I click maybe 1 in every 10 articles, but if it says not safe for work, I'm like a 90% clicker. And a lot of them are these just boob reveals where they pull their shirt up really slowly.
That's a titty drop.
A titty drop. Thank you. That's what I'm going for. A titty drop. And then, at the very end, they've kind of pulled their boobs so they're up and they flop down. And I guess I'm in the minority because these are very popular. These titty drop videos or titty flop videos, they're just always going crazy. And they're not videos, they're GIFs. And tell me, am I alone? This is stupid.
All by yourself, man on an island, all alone. I like the titty drop. I
do as well.
It sort of I also like Bigger Than You Thought. I feel like these are sister titty,
Bigger Than
titty
You Thought
subreddits.
I find fascinating for science.
Because they mix together sometimes because like you get the titty drop and they're bigger than you thought.
That
right?
can happen. Yeah. And another one I don't like in the same category is girls who like pull pants up over their butt and act like it's impossibly hard and it takes 60 seconds worth of dancing and jiggling to get their pants on.
I like that. I don't mind the
if
act.
it's actually hard to get those pants on over that fat ass, you have my attention. But if they're pretending that these obviously stretchy pants won't stretch over their butt, get the fuck out of here.
See, I'm always more likely to click the not safe for work ones that say like insane stuff. Like Indian man on train grabs exposed power line, or horrible
Smells like
car
curry.
crash, animal attack, like that kind of stuff where it's going to be real, like pretty gruesome. Those are the ones that I click on probably 95% of the time.
I like the ones. I'm always pleasantly surprised when it's something that's actually not safe for work, like a forklift, using a ladder on a forklift. And I'm like, OSHA violation type stuff. I know I'm familiar with the OSHA subreddit, but yeah, when it's that sort of thing, like some guy with 1 foot on a ladder and 1 foot on a shaky handrail, like, that's not safe for work. I get it.
Speaking of not safe for work, I was watching a Madden tournament and then it erupted into gunfire. Apparently, one of the competitors at a Madden tournament down in Jacksonville, Florida, which I believe was held at like a pizza place. Like this wasn't like one of those big like sold out arenas. This wasn't Dota or fucking PUBG or Counter Strike and like or anything like that. This is just like 30 guys in a pizza parlor, I think.
Yeah, it
One
was
of the
not
guys
huge
loses.
to do.
This kid loses, leaves, comes back with his fucking handgun,
2 guns,
and shoots the guy who's like playing on stream. You can see the laser pointer appear on his chest.
Did he kill that guy? Did that guy live?
I don't know who
He killed 2 people. Yeah.
I thought he killed 4.
They said
saw that
4
too,
originally,
but, yeah.
including the shooter, but it appears now that it's 2 plus shooter.
Okay,
so 3 total.
like 11 wounded
Yeah, you can
or something
you
like
can
that.
see that little, like they slow it down in the GIF version where you can see the dancing laser like right as the game is going. So I assume that guy who had the laser on him probably died. But even like crazier is like this dude I think was from Maryland and the guns were bought in Maryland. So this dude brought them with him from Maryland down to Jacksonville. Like, did he anticipate? Like, was he thinking the whole time? Like, if I lose this Madden tournament, I'm walking out to my car, I'm getting my gun, and I'm going in and killing whoever, beat me or whoever's winning the tournament. Like, that makes me think that, like, this was his contingency plan.
Suck at Madden, but I'm great at Call of Duty. Rolls in there. That was fucked. Look,
Yeah.
we know
The audio
all
is
about
terrible.
gamer rage here. Like, I was gonna say Wings Redemption would never do this, but I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
Wings would never.
We've had some. Remember after Syndicate beat him, like the conversations that
It was
happened
homicidal
right after.
conversation.
There were some homicidal conversations where he's ready to push a button on old Tom, but so maybe that's what happened, Like maybe this was oh, how great would it be if the shooter were like a Madden YouTuber, and we could like go back and like watch him play some Madden and see his rages, that would make it so much better.
He
That
had
would
a mental health history. He was on
No
some
shit.
but he was on 2 medications I read, and he had seen a psychologist for help before, but I guess
I believe he was on some kind of SSRI, and nothing is as similar between the most recent like 24 plus of these shooters than having been on SSRIs.
What are some
Like,
examples of SSRIs?
So a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor would be something like Prozac, like those antidepressants, anti-anxiety drugs, and it's something people don't talk about that much, probably because of how much influence the pharmaceutical industry has. But like, so many of these people are on SSRIs.
Yeah.
Like it's not like maybe
Just so
50%.
you know, so
it's
is-
not even 75%. It's like 90 plus.
Wings is on them too, so be careful what you say about.
But
Wings.
I just to present a counterpoint, people that have mental health problems are on SSRIs, right? So it's hard to say whether the chicken and an egg thing here, right? You know, do SSRIs make people shooters, as I think you might be implying, or are shooters the kind of
I
people
think,
that need SSRIs?
That's definitely a good point. Yeah, I've thought about that too. Like, I think that it's a combination, but also, like, it's not like they're on antipsychotics or they're on, they're a lot of them, they're not even like diagnosed bipolar. Some of them are, but I think that it's like a real thing that in a select group of people, these drugs, and like you can look up studies and know how maladaptive these drugs are to certain groups of people. Like they're really, they fuck with you.
Because a related thing is a lot of times people on antidepressants are committing suicide. And it's like, oh, right. But people who are depressed are the ones that commit suicide anyway. You don't necessarily say the antidepressant caused it.
That's true, but in some people, and this is known, like it can induce feelings of suicidality. Like people, they'll say, like that's why if you get on SSRIs, they'll tell you, oh, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious. Well, do you have any feelings of suicide? No, I don't want to self-harm at all. All right, well, take these pills. It'll help with your anxiety. If you get any suicidal ideation or self-harm thoughts, let us know immediately.
Yeah, I mean, they
because
test
they
those
know
things
that
against
this can
placebo.
trigger in some people.
They test those things against placebo, and it's not, and the study group is people with depression, and still the people who are on those drugs have a much higher rate of self-harming thoughts and suicidal tendencies and such. They definitely
genetic testing is magic. Like, are you familiar with genetic
Pretty
testing?
neat.
Yeah. Okay. I actually had a friend who did a lot of the groundbreaking stuff in this. I was in woodworking a long time ago, and that's what he did in his day job. He would determine how people reacted to different medicine. So they would, just get some of your blood and say, Adderall will do this to you. Prozac will do that to you. And that's so much nicer than saying, 85% of people that take Prozac have a good experience. You feeling lucky? You feeling lucky?
Yeah, let's roll the dice.
Yeah,
Like,
and like that's how they did it before genetic testing. Now with genetic testing, they can say, you know what, Taylor, you're a Motrin guy. Kyle, you're an Aleve guy. That's what you should be taking when you get headaches. And Aleve is a headache thing, right? Yeah.
yes.
All right. I was this close to branding one of you a Midol guy, and I'm like, no, not Midol. That's the period one.
oh, it's Kyle's time of the month.
But who knows? Maybe Midol's
Midol
the
man.
right fit for one of us. And yes, that's what genetic testing does. Quebblecop said he got like inexpensive genetic testing. Just check the right boxes, and he finds out that he's of Nordic heritage, and he likes ibuprofen or something.
I'd want to get a real one, not these 23andMe ones, because there have been like so many cases of people like sending it in multiple times and just getting totally ass backwards examples. And then there's also examples of the people who work there admitting to putting certain like genetic stuff in people's tests, despite the fact that they aren't actually that. Like, I would want to go to like a real deal geneticist to have it done.
Yeah,
And also
just don't
because
give 'em your real
23andMe
name,
is
though.
selling your genetic material. Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd want to
just-
like give something to throw them off the case. To be like, my name is Igor Grigorovsky. Like, and then if they tell you like, oh, well, you're mostly
For the Flyers?
He's probably one of our goalies.
Igor Grigorowski. Like, damn it.
Really? Because according to this, you're black. This can't be. No, I lost my goddamn train of thought.
Genetic testing,
genetic
medicine
testing.
efficacy.
Yeah, you don't want to give
23andMe.
them. if you do it, just give him a fake name or whatever. Otherwise, your poor uncle who may have raped 8 or 9 college students in the 80s is going to go down for life or something like that. I don't like that when I hear about that. Like I get they're solving cold cases or whatever, but it just feels wrong. It just feels
right
wrong
to me. I like it.
Yeah,
A little
it feels,
justice.
feels wrong.
Yeah, but like if they're using 23andMe data and that's known to be wrong in a lot of cases, like
Well,
that's not good.
Let's hope they test again. You know.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah,
what was
like
I
a
gonna
real
say?
deal.
We're at an hour, but I had a thing. Oh, the Pope. Have you guys been following this story at all?
The Pope.
So here's
really haven't
my
much,
understanding thus far. So in Pittsburgh, right, where the penguins and pedophiles reside, there was all this like, not coincidentally, I might add.
Those are concentric circles.
Yeah. There was a big scandal where, priests and cardinals and whatnot have been doing terrible things to kids, pedophile style. Okay. Well, now they want the Pope out of there. But the deal is this. It's not actually this Pope's fault. No one has linked him to any knowledge of any of this stuff. What it is the current Pope is a little more progressive than the Catholic Church typically is, right? He's not throwing people out for using contraception. He even says, like, well, we don't have to be pro-gay, but how about if they're gay and they're Christian, they're still welcome in the church? They could still...
He's like the hate the sin, not the sinner kind of guy.
So there are forces in the church trying to get him out under the guise that this pedophile thing is what they care about. But what they actually want to do is put in a more hardline Pope that will take us back in the day.
Yeah, fuck those fucking pieces
Probably.
of shit. The Catholic Church is such an evil organization. They spend billions of dollars hiding this stuff, millions of dollars hiding this stuff, but for avoiding legislation that would make make it tougher on those pedophile priests. They shuffle those pedophile priests around from one country to another to get
like
them
without
away
extradition
from their accusers.
laws.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's a criminal organization. It's a fucking criminal organization.
This happens at the top rungs of every organized religion.
Of every organized source of
Every
power,
organized religion. Yeah,
Whether
that's
you're
true.
talking
Like, and that's
politics
why I
or
think like really high
Hollywood.
people in other religions or in Hollywood love the Catholic scandal stuff because it like detracts from all of them because then they can skirt by still doing their shit. Like people who want to prey on children seek out positions where they have exclusive access to children. That will always be the case. It's always been the case. Like
pediatricians.
Well, that's
how about Larry?
fucking dedicated.
Yeah, right. You gotta be
You're like 7 years in. One of these days.
Perfect example. Larry Nazar, that guy who was with the
gymnasts.
gymnasts. Yeah, he was like their team doctor, like technically a pediatrician because they're
Did he
all under
make
the age of 18, and hundreds of them came forward.
He was the best at it. He was the best at picking a job that for a pedophile. No one. Like not only is he getting to feel up underage girls for a living, these are top tier underage girls.
I only barely know the details of that case. They were not
Fit.
He wasn't technically a pedophile, right? Because he was going after like 16 to 20.
No,
Okay.
A lot of these girls are like 12
Yeah.
to 15-ish, like because most
okay.
of them hit like their peak of gymnast stuff, like early teens, right? Because
Yeah,
that's
like-
when your flexibility's max.
Yeah, there's little bitty
I don't even know if that. I'm a little confused. What's a ped? Because I know a ped. If they were 8, right, and these undeveloped girls, that's pedophile. If they're 14-year-old Olympic athletes, that's illegal and immoral. Is it pedophile?
It depends what they look
pick a
like. It
different-
depends what's driving him.
Which is why I said
it really
illegal
doesn't matter.
Olympic
It's that
athlete.
they're underage
Yeah,
girls.
yeah.
That's probably the best way to go about talking about it. He seems like a pedophile because he's going after these very. I think the victims ranged from 12 to like 16, and then the thing is, he would start molesting a girl when she was like 11 or 12, and then it would go on for 4 or 5 years, like as long as she's on the Olympic team, they're going to a whole new Olympics, and he's still like feeling these girls up.
Is this also related
Bang.
to the Ohio State wrestling thing that's been in the news?
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they I guess there's the doctor that treated Ohio State wrestlers was a pedophile, and it got attention because there's a Republican senator, House of Rep dude. It might be Trey Gotti, but I'm a little don't take that to the bank. And everyone says he knew, and guys are like, I absolutely positively know he knew. We had a conversation about it, he and I, and like they came at him from like 8 different people, and one of the guys is a big MMA dude. I forget who it was, but yeah, he's been accused from like 7 different angles of sort of looking the other way.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that story one bit.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have kids. Like you just be like it just. I would feel like there's predators everywhere, especially if you got a good-looking kid. Like I think you want an ugly kid, right? Like if your kid's like super ugly, you're like, go ahead, join the team. Don't worry about it. Like, Dad, the coach, I felt a little uncomfortable when he was massaging me the other day. Trust me, honey. He was trying to help. There was nothing sexual in that massage. I mean, I could barely look at you myself.
Yeah. I noticed that my massage was 45 seconds while Stephanie's was half an hour alone in the back room. It's like, see, that's why I feed you poorly until you're old enough to fend for yourself.
It's because you look like a ghoul.
You look like a ghoul. Dad, why do I have to apply bacon grease to my face every night before bed?
So the guy's name
keeping you safe.
The guy's name was Jim Jordan. That he's a Republican, like federal guy.
Jim Jordan.
Yeah,
sounds familiar. I don't know.
Probably recognize his face if you saw him. And guys are like, yeah, I had a conversation about him, and he said, I'd fucking kill that guy if he ever tried that with me. Like that. That implies that he knew about it and looked the other way.
Yeah, was he going after guys? I suppose the wrestling team. That makes sense.
I guess.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, do they have a ladies wrestling team there? I don't even know. I'm pretty ignorant.
The way they made it sound is that like this was a poorly kept secret that everybody knew about, and yeah, but it's forever ago, and I guess it's just he said, she said. So.
Fuck. You would think that those people would be driven out of society sooner rather than later. God,
I think so.
Is the worst.
But there will always be more.
Yeah, and the fact that there are just either it's one or two things. Either it's like we said on the show the other week, and we often say that they're just born that way, or maybe it's just really that good. Have we considered that?
You are making a lot
out
of
on
sense.
Something because I don't know about you guys. Never molested a child, but
I don't know about you guys.
haven't tried it. Haven't tried it myself, But there are a lot of people who have, despite the fact that it's very risky.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now, you storm the beach. I'm going to be waiting back in the amphibious landing vehicle, waiting for updates.
For so many men to risk their lives, their livelihood, their family, their humiliation, self-respect. It's got to be pretty good, right?
I don't know, because I didn't get laid. I did kiss 12-year-olds when I was 12.
Yeah.
And I remember them being lousy.
See, I think they're just pedophiles, and that they just don't want adults.
You get out of here with that, Taylor.
Yeah.
Interesting theory.
I don't know about that, but Kyle's theory, pretty compelling.
Yeah.
There's no evidence, but
sure. Like, oh, right. Most people who try things for the first time are really good at it, right?
No.
No.
I don't think we're looking for skill on there in the child.
I'm looking for a little skill.
Jesus Christ.
No,
it's 12-year-old still has a fully developed gag reflex. Get that shit out of here. Am I alone here?
Well,
I'm not
Kyle, I do agree with you that you're not necessarily born that way, because there is a verifiable, proven connection between the likelihood of someone who is molested as a child, more likely to become a pedophile. Many, many, many pedophiles were molested as children. It's almost like that's how pedophiles are reproducing.
So pedophilia is a sexually transmitted disease.
Spring out of the ground, which is of course ridiculous.
Some say there are no pedophile women.
I just got the Lord of the Rings female dwarf reference. I was a little step behind on that one.
You guys want to call it a show?
Yeah. All right, PKN 210. If you're a pedophile, let us know how that's going for you.
Yep.